Listen up, I got a story to tell. We're raising hell every Monday and Thursday.
Culture, listen up, I got a story to tell. We're raising hell every Monday and Thursday. Pop culture unleashed, facts unfiltered, hype increased. Just unleashed, breaking through the screen, living in chaos, creating the dream. This is where rage and humor collide, so hold on tight. I got that drive in me, for the life of me, staying truly thankful for the fans I see. Talking to people of all types, making the chat hype. The more united we are, the higher we all fly. Got that drive in me, for the life of me, stand truly thankful for the fans I see. Talking to people of all types, making the chat hype. The more united we are, the higher we all fly. Unleashed, breaking through the screen, living in chaos, creating the dream. This is where rage and humor collide, so hold on. Starts igniting,
My brain starts igniting.
Machine starts writing. God placed us in this fighting to speak and enlighten. We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera lights dim, the chat starts to grin. The stream is live and buffering. The show is about to begin. So sit down and buckle it in. This is Unleashed, breaking through the screen. Pop culture chaos, living the dream, living the dream. Every Monday and Thursday, pop culture unleashed, living the...
You know what the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of it.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done. Believe me when I say
We can break this army here. It has made us brothers. I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
cut out their living guts
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time. Seize the day.
Never surrender. Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
All right!
Let's fly!
My name is the Lord. When I
tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera up. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Yeah! My name is Brian, and I am here with Danny, the Dork Knight. What's up, brother?
What is up, man? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, when was the last time we streamed together?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I think it was the Picard season 3 finale over on Salty Nerds. I think it's been that long.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
but you know what?
it
We're
has.
back together today, and we're talking about, we're talking about The Boys, season 4, episode 4. Of course, also the presidential debate and Uggo Gamer Girls. Uggo game girls, ugly video game characters. There's a little bit of a conspiracy going on where it looks like they have been creating ugly video game characters on purpose to be more inclusive, and we think that's hilarious. So we're going to be talking about that. So yeah, let's just recap. The Boys, Uggo's presidential debate.
Right on.
So 20 minutes per segment tight. That never happens, but let's give it a go.
All right, let's do it.
I want to thank everyone for being here today. Frodo, Donnie, Gene, Mark, and more. Listen, if you are not a member and you want to become a member, hit that little join button bottom left and help us fulfill our goal of finally breaking that covetous 50-member mark. We're almost there. And after this first hour, we're going to go to the members section where, if you've been there, you know what's up. We hang out, we look at memes, we laugh a lot, and we get a little loose. And I think that that's where Danny shines. That's where he shines.
Well, man, we haven't been on a stream together since I've been sober. 108 days today, by the way. So I might not. Yeah, I've been. I used to. You know Joe Cronin, right?
Yeah.
I met him through you.
Yeah.
So I used to do his show quite a bit. And just last week, he's like, I'm glad that you're sober for your health, but you were better for the show as a drunk. I said, thanks.
Yeah, he had a stream once where you were like so plastered, you were just like slumped over in your seat.
That's not even the worst. I whipped my dick out one time too. It was embarrassing.
Oh, God.
Painful. Yeah, that was bad. It was bad.
Well, yeah, let's not do that here.
Oh, don't worry. I'm a totally different dude.
Good.
One of these days, Kadish and crew will have me back on to see that. But I'm in the timeout corner, and I totally understand why.
It happens, dude.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Boys.
What do you think of the beard? You haven't seen me with a beard before, man.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
When I first met you, you had a beard, and then you shaved it, and you had like that weird stash where like the stash connects.
Yeah. I don't know. This is the longest I've let it grow in a while.
That's pretty full. Yeah.
Got called Santa Claus earlier today.
I trimmed mine a couple days ago. It was starting to get real bushy. The thing is, the more bushy it gets, like the heavier I look. So I have to be smart about trimming it down sometimes.
Yeah.
I just get my face just gets fatter and fatter and fatter when it grows.
Yeah, I had somebody the other day. Have you gained weight? I'm like, actually, bro, I've just lost 10 pounds. But okay.
Yeah, it's the beard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's jump right into it, man. Again, thank you guys for being here. If the Boys is not to your liking, you gotta let us know. I have been posting every week, Wednesday, without fail, for a few weeks now. What do you guys want to talk about? Sometimes I give you guys a list of options. I post multiple times. I'm getting some options, but I need you guys. If you don't like what we're talking about, you need to log on the day before, hit Twitter, hit the YouTube community, and let us know if there's something specific you want to talk about. And if it's popular, I will. But for today, we're going to start with the Boys. You're all caught up, right?
Yeah, we're actually, is it appropriate? May I plug my show after this?
Yeah, go plug it now.
Okay. So I do Nerd Fights with Salty Trekker, and he made me review. So I used to watch Star Trek Discovery with you and the Salty Nerds, and during season 3, I quit. I quit watching it. I quit doing the Saturday streams. I couldn't take it anymore. Didn't watch any of season 4 of Discovery. Salty was like, hey, I know you don't want to do Discovery. He made a deal with me. He's like, if you review the final season of Discovery with me, I'll review whatever you want. No questions asked. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was going to do the Boys because he had always talked about not ever want. He's a very Christian person. Doesn't want to watch it. He was very turned off by it. So we finish up Discovery, and he's like, hey, what are we doing? And I'm like, the Boys. And he's like, you. Oh, I mean, but he's a man of his word.
There you go.
Today, he's watched them all. He's cursed me for it. And we're actually going to be reviewing all 4 episodes on the show today. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, we're not going to have a lot of spoilers. Archmage just asked if we're going to spoil the episode. I'm not going to be talking about story points, but I did want to talk about a few points that I thought either didn't make sense or were specifically good.
For sure.
It's not gonna. I mean, I guess there is minor spoilers. I'm not gonna go like normally when we do a review, we go through the entire thing, nuts to bolts. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. I'll follow your lead. If you guys don't want spoilers, I'll be vague. You know, there's general things we can talk about that I found fascinating that kind of mirror our real world. You know what I mean?
So one thing about The Boys I've noticed is this season is especially divisive. So if you look at The Boys on Amazon, every season of The Boys, look, there's a rating, right? I'll show you guys. There's a rating for this, and if you look here, let me get my cart here. Sorry, you have The Boys season 1, 10,000.
Oh, is that a 2-pronged dildo in your cart? You might want to do something. Like
it was,
that.
but I got rid of it. Okay. That's from my wife later. Okay. So The Boys season 1, season 2, season 3, all 4 out of 5 stars, heavy ratings. Season 4. We're looking at about 3.5 stars, and a lot of people are complaining about this season. And to be fair, who's not helping? The damn creator of the series is not helping.
Well, Kripke's, is a liberal, but I don't feel like he's not like others that have pushed some kind of message. The Boys has always been pretty good about poking fun at both sides in a pretty balanced way, I think.
Yeah, this is from Kripke. The Boys was always about Trumpism.
Oh yeah, he shouldn't have said that.
As the showrunner grows its darkly comic satire into a franchise and spoofs a certain trial and presidential election in the new season, he says he's fine losing the viewers who just figured out his social agenda. Go watch something else, he said.
Oh, what an idiot.
How would you
do that?
Why would you? First off, all you had to do was shut up. You're on a run. People like your stuff. It's wild. It's crazy. The story is insane. Even if it touches on politics, everyone pretty much felt that you were fair in your going after both sides take. And then this season, you definitely, this story definitely is leaning toward the Trumpism and the MAGA crowd being evil. And then he goes out, and this is not the first interview. This is like number 18, where he's wanting to make sure people know that this is his social agenda. Eric, shut up. You don't have to get smoke and stream, just so you know. Oh, sorry. You're going to get me in trouble.
Sorry. It's vape, but okay.
No, yeah, I have vape too, but I don't vape on stream. In the members section, go crazy.
Okay.
It's okay. So listen, all Eric has to do is shut up. If he just doesn't talk and does his job, there might be people out there who feel offended or feel attacked, but the majority of people are not going to feel that way. But he's got to go hit news rags. He's got to hit Deadline and Variety, and he's got to make sure everyone knows that he's fighting the good brain rot fight. Eric, you're killing me, dude. I don't get it.
And he didn't do this in previous episode or season. So do you think he's feeling emboldened by this whole woke movement and because a lot of these creators are coming out and saying just dumb shit. I think about The Acolyte, that lady, in the cast and every interview, like the Force is gay now or all this other stupid stuff.
Yeah. We were going to talk about that, but frankly, I just did not want to talk about Acolyte again.
Yeah, we don't have to. I'm just saying you think that kind of stuff emboldened him.
No, but I was going to put it on the list because that lady's TikTok just came out where she made like a music video about how haters gonna hate her. I mean, it's like, come on, like it's like they're trying to make people dislike them. It's very odd. He never did it in any previous seasons. Didn't do it. I think he feels emboldened by the success of The Boys.
Okay.
The Boys is successful. Not only is the show successful, it spawned a spinoff that was wildly successful. Everyone loved
Gen V.
Mm-hmm. It spawned a cartoon that was sort of successful. It helped greenlight Invincible, which was incredibly successful.
Love Invincible, man. Oh.
The Boys is like, it is a successful franchise. And quite frankly, we should celebrate franchises that aren't just rehashes of what we saw when we were in our teens. And this is a new thing. Someone made a comic book, someone liked it, someone created a successful adaptation of that comic book into a TV show that the majority of people like. So applaud to him. Great job, Eric. Eric also made one of my all-time favorite shows, Supernatural, or he was involved in it. He helped, which is why you see so many Supernatural actors on The Boys. Great. I was a fan of Eric until he decided that he has to go run his mouth and make sure that if people aren't offended, they should be, which is a very odd thing to do.
So I have an admission, and I get a lot of grief about this. I've never seen a single second of Supernatural. Just missed that boat for some reason.
You gotta go.
Just lost my nerd cred. All right.
I gotta be honest. I envy you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because after this show is over, after whatever, when you got time, you can literally go boot up on Netflix Supernatural and just enjoy 15 seasons of mostly rock solid entertainment with mostly likable characters. Like almost everyone in Supernatural is likable, even the bad guys. You're like, that's a cool bad guy. That bad guy is awesome. They're evil, sure, but you sort of like them. A lot of likable characters. It's a horror element to it. There's a comedy element to it. It's about two brothers who basically have taken on this mantle of the family business, and it's saving people, hunting things. And it's mostly episodic, but there are season-long arcs and stories. It's a very good TV show, man. It's one of my all-time favorites. In fact, right here, that right there that's like one of my most coveted.
Is that Soldier Boy?
Prize pieces. That is the actor that plays Soldier Boy, but
okay,
that is him depicted as half human, half demon. Because in Supernatural, there was a small run where he was both things, and that's an actual painting my buddy had commissioned for me, and I was like, "It's cool. Beautiful," and it's on my wall because I love it. Right next to my giant original Stargate poster from the original movie, came off a theater. In fact, I'll show you guys. I'm afraid of taking it out of the frame because once it goes out of the frame, it's over because it's so old that the poster is sticking to the frame now.
Oh, yeah.
No, but the thing is, the guy is a good creative. He knows what he's doing. He just needs to shut up. Excuse me, I got bad. There we go. He just needs to shut up, do his job. So I don't want to talk about him too much. I did want to talk. So I don't know how many moments do you want to talk about? Like you have like two of them in your back pocket.
Oh, for this most recent episode of The Boys.
Yeah.
So there's.
So you go first, and I'll go second because I got a couple too.
Okay, cool. So the big I don't want to really spoil anything. So the big reveal at the end that Firecracker does, kind of outing Starlight in a way that triggers her for that large confrontation at the end, was almost like it was just, I don't know, it was like a commentary on everything with Firecracker, even like when she gets threatened to be outed, and she actually is like, oh, here, I'll do it for you. And then she turns around and twists that.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it's crazy. You're thinking, how in the world can anyone accept this insane revelation? And I'm not going to spoil it for Archmage.
Yeah.
But there's an insane revelation about Firecracker. By the way, I like the character of Firecracker. She's going to come up in our video game segment next because they made a skin of her for, I think it was Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And when you first bought the skin, she had like a delicious, juicy booty. And then about a week in, someone was like, wait a minute, you can't make an attractive woman. And they just flattened that booty out like a week after everyone bought it.
I want my money back.
Yeah. I was like, you should be able to ask for your money back if you change. It's like if you buy a digital skin or a game and all of a sudden it changes, you should be able to get your money back. That's all I'm saying.
So the point I was trying to make, I found it interesting that the dichotomy. So there's this thing revealed about Firecracker, then this thing revealed about Starlight, and arguably, Firecrackers is worse. Yet somehow it gets spun through this crowd of people who are basically brainwashed, which is the kind of the Trump allegory, where what she did is okay, but what Starlight did was not okay.
And what's nuts? Okay, so yeah, that's nuts. And when I want to say specifically what it is, because I want to spoil it, but what she did was actually not just not okay, it was criminal.
Yes, criminal. Yes.
It was immoral, criminal, offensive on every level. But she pulled off this whole crying thing, and she was able to spin it into, even though I did this horrible thing, it's how I found Jesus. And you're like, that was a very Trumpism thing.
It was, and that's.
And by the way, Eric Kripke is completely in his rights to offend whoever he wants to offend. I saw what Adam said and said 100%. What I'm saying from a business perspective, he should not be going and doing interviews and telling people, "I'm here to offend you." You want this show to do well, and I guess, yeah, you're right. The show ends next season, so he's probably like, cards on the table, I don't care. you know?
Yeah, he's like, I've already been greenlit. I don't care if I lose half my audience at this point now. I'm
from his perspective, but from Amazon's perspective, he should really shut his mouth and just do the job. Yeah. Even if that job is to offend people, it's fine.
So
don't go out there and tell people about it.
He wants to criticize Trump, yet there's a funny parallel as a oh, let me word this a different way. So Trump supporters were like, "Hey man, just stay off Twitter, stop talking." And now he's kind of trying to take jabs at Trump, whereas Amazon's probably like, "Hey man, stay off Twitter or stay out of the news cycles." It's kind of funny.
It's funny. I remember when Trump was president, a lot of Trump supporters was like, "Hey man, we love you, President Trump, but like you need to stop talking."
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're making everyone hate us, bro. Like this ain't working out.
So it kind of is funny, like from a certain point of view, as I like to say, quote Star Wars. He's kind of become his own, the thing he hates in a way.
That's true. Yeah, I know. It's what an interesting thing is, like, while you can speak out politically if you think that there a certain group of people are doing something or espousing something that you think is wrong for society and bad for kids or whatever, then you should be able to speak out about 100%. But then there's the people that just hate anyone that doesn't agree with them outright. They don't actually need to have a conversation or a debate. They don't want to look at the facts. They're like, "Oh, you're wearing a red hat? I hate you." And what's crazy is I have liberal friends and I have conservative friends. There's never been a moment where I looked at my liberal friends, and I have a couple of liberal friends that are on YouTube. They have a pretty decently popular channel. I think they have like 200,000 subscribers now, and they do a weekly show just like we do. And they are extremely liberal. I've known them since Rooster Teeth days, way back in the day, and they have become that way not because of where they were, but like these guys started in they came out of Florida. They did a YouTube show. It got semi-popular. They got picked up by an MCN and they moved to LA. It was in the process over a 5-year period of living in LA is when they became this sort of extreme caricature. I can't say the word, but
caricature.
Thank you, of a liberal. And I talked to them sometimes. I'm like, "Hey, what happened, you guys?" Like, "Well, and they are very much, extreme with their beliefs. And they hate anyone. They hate Elon Musk with a pad. They hate Elon Musk. It's crazy. They hate anyone that likes free speech, that offends people, that kind of stuff, right? And it drives me nuts. But that's what that in this firecracker thing. That's pretty much what they're showing. They're thinking they're trying to put a face on what they think Trumpism or MAGA people are. And they gave Firecracker, who is like the social media influencer, a la like Lauren Southern or whatever, who is just offending the character that we've all been rooting for the last 3 seasons. Right? It's almost pervasive. Not pervasive. That's not the right word. it's sort of diabolical the way they, to use that phrase like Butcher does, the way they, you know, make you love a character, then they put up this straw man version of Trumpism, and they make that like the villain who is doing everything they can to offend that character you love, you know? Again, I'm not offended. I don't care. It's a TV show. I like it.
It's a TV show, and you know, and it's when I'm interacting like with a television screen, when I'm yelling at it or talking to during a show, they're doing a good job because I'm engaged. But I just when Firecracker goes out there and gives her little, you know, crocodile tear speech, I'm thinking, you know, man, you know, in a way, you know, going through this whole sobriety thing, and you know, my new birth date with AA and everything, I could say, you know, I've been born again, but it doesn't excuse.
So you're in the 12-step program?
I am. And it doesn't excuse any of the really terrible stuff I did beforehand, or automatically like she just acted like, because, oh, I learned from it and I was born again, like that makes it okay. And people, no, you still did a terrible thing.
That's not how being born again works, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a big, okay. So when it comes to like reconciling your mistakes, there's the people that were offended have to forgive you. Now that doesn't rely on you. That relies on them. They can either choose to forgive you or not, regardless of your actions. Even if you're not trying to get clean, they can say they forgive you. But the reconciliation part does rely on you, right? The offender. If the offender decides they don't want to admit their mistakes, right? Attempt to change, then there can be no reconciliation. And I've actually sat in on probably about 80 different AA meetings. I was never in AA, but I recorded it for my job, right?
Right.
So I'll go in there and record it so we can put it on tape for people and stuff like that at the community center. And everything the 12-step program talks about is actually solid stuff.
It really is.
Because it's saying, hey, your actions hurt someone. Whether they forgave you or not is on them. But you need to take the next step and steps, etc., to reconcile that and make a change in your life so that you don't continue this destructive path.
Exactly. It's funny that comes up because I'm actually working on step 4 right now with my sponsor. And step 4 is where you kind of take a fearless moral inventory of all the fucked up shit, or I'm sorry, I can't cuss here, right? All the messed up stuff. Okay. All the messed up stuff that,
wait to the member second.
For sure. All the messed up stuff that you've done. And then you take a look at like resentments and then what your part in it was. And then when you move on to step 5 is all about like admitting it to God, to yourself, and to another human being, so you can work through forgiving yourself. And then you move on to the next steps where there's a couple of God ones in there I'll skip over for some people, but then basically you get to where you actually, step 9, you reach out. So by what you're doing in these steps before you reach out to somebody to make amends is you're cleaning up your side of the street. You're getting right with yourself and with God. And then,
whether they forgave you or not, right?
Whether they forgive you or not is on them. But you've gotten to a state where, and hopefully, if you do it all correctly, even if they don't forgive you, you're like, well, you know, thanks for letting me do this. You know, doors always open, kind of thing. I love you.
Yeah. Either way, you're transformed. So Firecracker went from like this horrible thing she did. She exposed it herself. And then just jumped to like step 9.
Yeah, just totally skips all the important
steps.
Yeah.
And they painted all the Trump supporters as the idiots that bought it, you know?
Yeah.
And we're only saying Trump supporters, like, they're literally like wearing red hats. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty much like if Lauren Southern wore a military outfit, you know, or, you know, name your right-wing influencer here, which again, it's fine, I don't care. I do believe that it's in your best interest as a show to go after both sides and show the ridiculous nonsense on both sides, because there's plenty of it to go. But you know, whatever. So that was a good moment. I think you're right. Let me give you one moment.
Okay.
In the very beginning, when the VOT facility thought they were being invaded, and Homelander steps off the elevator with his cake. Hey everyone. That made me so uneasy.
Oh dude. Yeah. I was watching it with.
Oh my god! I was like, I was so uneasy that I don't what is this guy's name? I gotta look up the casting name. Oh my god!
All I know is I turned and looked to the girl I was watching it with, and I was like, everybody's about to die. Oh god! I was like, it was so creepy how calm he was and just talking to him and that sick smile he has.
Anthony Starr, I guess his name is. He did a great job. That scene was
unsettling.
Chef's kiss.
It was,
it's very good. Now here's the part I didn't like is the Frenchie story made no sense to me. And this entire season I'm starting to literally hate that character. Like every time he's on screen, it's diverting from the story I want to watch, and I don't like it, and I have no interest in it.
Did you read the comics? Because I didn't. Like, is that weird?
No. No, I mean, I perused them online. I didn't really get into
it. I never even knew there was a boys comic book until this show came out. So I'd be curious to find out, and I'll probably look into it if that little side story with Frenchie that just came up this season, kind of seemingly out of nowhere.
I look. That's not in the comics.
It's not? Okay.
And you know what's interesting is, I'm not going to get into the details of the side story because people here haven't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. But I find it unlikely that, and you know, maybe I've never actually had gay sex, so maybe I don't know how gay sex works. But it seems like in every scene, Frenchie is naked with his gay boyfriend, and
there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, a lot. He's always naked. I'm just saying, like, how at any, like, you've been naked, you walk around this guy's apartment completely butt nude, and this is the first time he's seen that scar? Like, what? Like, I don't, something doesn't track with that. Not only is it taking you away from the story I actually want to hear, it's a complete side thing that has no relevance at all to any of us, and it just makes Frenchie look bad and sort of pathetic, and so that was the one part I won't care. There's some people that there's some people that don't care about the Kamiko stuff, but for me, I like the Kamiko stuff. I like that character. I want to know more about her.
Well, her little side.
I'm over the Frenchie stuff.
Yeah, me too. Hers makes more sense and is more applicable to the overall story. His is not really, at least not yet. I mean,
no, it feels like it's injected in there because they want gay something in the story.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, well, we need more gay stuff in the story. Let's take this character people moderately enjoy and make him a pathetic simp, you know? And you're like, ugh. It's weird. One thing is Archmage Fred's, did they leak, Archmage Frey said, did they leak Starlight's plastic surgery? I gotta tell you, what's her name? I can't say her last name. Moriarty, whatever. The chick that plays Annie, she looks so much different than the first season. Yeah. Like, it is not a question of, I wonder if she got plastic surgery. No, it's a question of, you need to sue your plastic surgeon. Holy crap. And I'm not trying to like shame her, but like, Aaron, you did not need plastic surgery. You were beautiful. I do not understand why you went under the knife at your age. And now you look like a lizard person. Like your face is pulled back, your eyes are sunk in, like you look weird. And she got rid of the fat in her cheeks. That was one of the beautiful things about her, was the shape of her face. And now she looks like a fucking skeleton. It's so odd to me why anyone would do this. I'm going to show you a picture.
Yeah, I'm actually, that's what I'm doing now. I'm looking at a picture of her from 2019 versus this season.
Here, and, I have a comparison. Here we go. Okay. Her in the first season, her now.
Why do women do that? So many. I live in Vegas, and just normal women, just their bartenders or whatever, do the thing with their cheeks and their lips and their nose. I mean, she's had so much work done. It's
But why would they? Sad. Why do they remove the natural fat from their cheeks that makes them look young? And I was like, they're like, you know what, Doc? I really want to look like I'm sick and dying.
Yeah, she looks like in the picture on the right there. She looks like an alien. She looks like
Yeah.
It
like
doesn't
like a lizard person or something. Like I don't
something.
get it.
Yeah.
It's very odd, and it's actually annoys me a little bit as someone who appreciates beauty. I don't know why you would take something that was beautiful and make it gross because of social stuff.
It's really sad how stuff like that happen. Like people feel the need to just embrace what God gave you or whatever you believe in. Just embrace what you've been given, and somebody. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder anyway. And yeah, she definitely, objectively speaking, of course, looks way better in the picture on the left than she does on the right. And it's sad, and you can never go back from that. It's not like losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. That's that permanent.
Speaking
change.
of losing weight and gaining weight, what about oh my God,
Mother's Milk?
Yeah, what about Mother's Milk, dude?
He is visibly skinnier, like dramatically skinnier.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize him. That guy is like, what is he taking Ozempic or something? What is the deal? Like for real, like he is like a shadow of himself. Everyone on this show, they looks like they got sick between seasons 3 and 4.
Yeah, and now he has that creepy mustache. He puts the ick in Ozempic. It's terrible.
By the way, Laz Alonso, he was the guy from, remember 8 Mile? Remember he was in 8 Mile? He was like, all right, Rabbit. That guy with Eminem.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. Again, I don't think he needed to lose weight. He was fine. He wasn't even fat. He was like a normal person. And now he looks.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Look, guys, if I go from like 275 pounds now and all of a sudden I look all skinny and shrunk up, the following year, it wasn't Pilates and a good diet. 100% it was something else. Now, if you had to do that to be healthy, go for it. This guy didn't need it at all. He wasn't obese.
Dramatically. Yeah, he looks dramatic. No, he was kind of jacked. Like I'm looking.
He was kind of jacked. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at this picture of him from season 1 where they're, meeting up with Frenchie and Huey for the first time in that back of the truck, and he looks yoked there. And then there's this picture of him from like some kind of premiere in a suit, and he looks frail. He just looks sick.
He looks sick. Yeah, he looks sick. Yeah. All right. Archmage. I always have to pull up Archmage stuff because it's so good. Lots of people are pulling for Anthony Starr to play Reverse Flash. That would be outstanding.
I saw that in the chat, and I'm glad you brought that up. I think that's perfect casting. That would be
perfect.
Great. Yeah.
He would literally be a perfect Reverse Flash in every way. And it's not just because he's pulling off like the evil Homelander thing, but he actually looks like comic books accurate.
He
Reverse
does.
Flash.
He really does. Yeah.
Okay. Last thing for me, last good thing anyways, is and I'm trying, how can I do this without spoiling it? I don't want to spoil it. The thing with the dad.
Okay, the Huey stuff. That's what I was hoping.
Huey stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jack Quaid's dad, Simon Pegg, right?
Simon Pegg. Yeah.
I'm forgetting his actual character's name, but he's in the hospital sick, and Jack's he's trying to do something that will help him not be sick, and he decides not to do it, and then all of a sudden it happens anyways. But the last thing we see basically is a sort of shocking thing. And there's something else that goes on in Carl Urban, but it's such a spoiler, and I don't even want to touch on it.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
But what did you think? Like, it obviously came from him. It had to be his mom, right?
It had to be. That's what the girl I was watching it with. She's like, "Oh man, did she pick his pocket?" And I was like, "I don't know. She works for Vought. Maybe they had the same plan,
she works
the same idea."
No, she's like one of those like multi-level marketers, though. Like,
that would be
like me working as a person that sells Disney swag and saying I work at Disney. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like, because my wife said the same thing. She was like, "Well, she works at Vought." I'm like, no, she doesn't. She sells Vought oils and stuff. Like,
she's like the Mary Kay division.
She's a Mary Kay. Like, she doesn't actually work for Mary Kay. I think that she's clever, and she must have saw him. And I think from her perspective, it can't do any harm. So if it was her, because it has to be,
Yeah.
it can't do any harm, right?
So do you think she picked his pocket or had it already?
No, I think she picked his pocket. I think she walked in. Remember, she walks like behind him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she saw
He
him
was
looking at
surprised.
it. She probably noticed the VOT thing, and she probably just said, "F it."
Yeah.
Like, why? If you had a loved one on death's door, I mean, you would try anything, even if it would be disaster. Who cares?
Well, I still don't know her motivation. So I don't know if she did what she did malevolently or benevolently. You know what I mean? I don't yet. You know, I don't know if she's trying to get something out of it or if she is just being altruistic and just trying to make up for past sins, against her son, or if she's got some kind of, to use your word, diabolical plan or scheme.
We're being careful about spoilers. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
good point. I'm not sure if it was malevolent or bad, if her intentions are good or bad.
Exactly.
We're gonna find out next episode. So
Yeah.
I've actually seen ahead of the episode, so I'm trying to remember also what I watched because I've already seen the whole season
that I haven't seen yet. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah.
trying to only bring up things that are specific to this episode,
Yeah.
and not give anything away. So I have like a lot going on in my head right now because I'm trying to like sort all that out and not give
Right.
spoilers to the chat and not spoil something for you.
Yeah.
One last thing is I liked seeing Annie Starlight go ham on Firecracker. That was pretty cool.
Dude, it's so funny you say that. It was cool to see, but that's one of those moments where I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, no, don't, what are you doing? Stop.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, it's good. No, so there's a whole lot. We're not going to get into the other stuff, but there's a whole lot. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. There's also stuff with Sister Sage and the Deep, and really good, very interesting stuff that everyone that likes the boys is going to want to watch. And if you're 2 seasons behind, I quite literally envy you because you have 2 seasons of good, because it's good television, regardless of what I think about Eric Kripke's, time, what he does off show. He's a hell of a creator, man. Hell of a creator.
Before we
go ahead.
jump off, I want to say that at the very end of episode 3, and we see that thing where they pan off from the Deep and Sister Mage,
Sage.
what's her name?
Sister
Sister Sage, and you see that thing on the table. I knew exactly what that was. I was so proud of myself that it ended up being what it was.
Oh, really? I didn't know what that was.
I totally called it. I was so proud of myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna jump over and we're gonna start talking about the Uggos. So first, I do want to talk about. I want to show what I was talking about with the Call of Duty skin and Firecracker.
I almost wish we had so you know what, for this segment, I will do my best to identify as female. So we have a female representative. I'm just kidding, but still, it's,
is it Call of Duty? I think it's Call of Duty.
I don't want to get too chauvinistic.
Yeah, it is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to find the, I'm trying to find the specific, comparison link. Hold up.
Oh, wow. Adam, you're way back in season 2, brother. You got a lot of good stuff to see. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I can show this though. Hold up. Let me get one that's not so like this is a little NSFW, sorry.
A little risque.
Okay. This is not. This is better. Okay. So this is the original Call of Duty skin. Right? There's the portrait mode. As you're sitting down.
Yeah,
everyone bought it because
the good glutes,
good
makes
glutes,
sense.
Right?
She's athletic,
and this is a week later.
Oh, honey, you need to do some squats. What's wrong,
girl? You need to do some squats, girl. What are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
So this is a good transition, the great transition to the next story because we need to talk about why there is this conspiracy going on when it comes to ugly video game characters. And first I want to show you guys this video, and I'm sorry you don't have any sound, but you'll get the gist of it. Watch this video. And this is from Dove, by the way. Here we go. I'm just going to stop there. And then I'm just going to say what happens. She feels emboldened to go out in like her regular clothes and fight demons or something. I don't know. This is what they said. According to Dove, 73% of girls that play games find they cannot identify with the characters on screen. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be able to identify with the character on the screen. Like, bro, I think last game I played a giant red monster that swung at giant axe. I don't identify with that person. Before that, I played Shepard on Mass Effect. I never thought, oh, I look like that. I don't look like the guy from God of War. It's not about being able to see yourself in the character. That's so stupid.
Entertainment is escapism. I don't want a genuine avatar of myself. Like I'm going to say stuff that gets me in trouble. That's just ridiculous. That's just it's a video game.
It's a video game.
It's not real. It's entertainment. You know.
So I want to go into a long thread before I want to show you one more example. This is from Captain Leica, just showing examples of newest AAA game releases. These are,
and that's not how outfits work. If it were, I would get something like that on the daily instead of trying so hard to lose weight. Give me a break. I'm sorry.
I mean, they do have girdles. Don't they have guy girdles?
Yeah, but not like that. I mean, come on. I mean, that was unrealistic. She takes the thing off and just
it's a video game, so I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Archmage. It's not a story arc from Mythic Quest. It should be, though. By the way, if you haven't seen Mythic Quest, you need to watch that. Have you seen it?
Okay. No, I haven't.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, you have Supernatural and Mythic Quest to watch. Oh my God!
I'm writing this down. Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest. It's on Apple TV.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Which is fine, but you need to watch Supernatural first. That's on Netflix. Everyone has Netflix.
Okay.
Watch that first. Even your mom in the chat was like, "You haven't seen Supernatural, son?"
She's one of the people giving me grief. Hi, Mom. By the way, my oldest daughter, huge Supernatural fan.
Dude, my 12-year-olds are Supernatural fans now, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the conspiracy. This is from Gums on Twitter at GRUMMZ. All right, so follow him if you're not.
Grums.
He said something big happened yesterday and people missed it. Every theory we had about the uglification of women in AAA gaming turned out to be true. Look at what happened to Jean Grey from Insomniac, Marvel's Wolverine, from these leaked early screenshots of the first beautiful model to the masculine, world-weary version we have today. They are ruining Marvel. Yes, Marvel's Wolverine is a sweet baby ink game, of course. I don't really understand how we got to this point where Sweet Baby Inc. was in charge of everything. It's very odd to me, but they're in charge of a lot of AAA games.
Mm-hmm.
We were told it was the difficulty of scanning actors or just tricks of the light, bad screen caps. We were told we were incels for even questioning it. As a game dev, I knew this was BS. As gamers, you knew it was BS from comparisons with Asian games. True. Asian games don't do this. They don't mess with the DEI. They just make a good game and all the characters look great. A principal artist read this as lead at major studios, including Naughty Dog, Rocksteady, and Respawn, told the truth. Now, here's the characters he's talking about. Like, they look like that. These characters look just so ugly. It's crazy. But this is a character. This is a specific guy. He's a principal artist at a major studio, at Naughty Dog, who, by the way, he's also a liberal. So he has no skin in the game here, and he's talking about out against this. He said every time he concepted, every time he pitched them, every time he brought it up at meetings, he was ignored. Inexplicably, each character went from beautiful to grocery store aunties. Each revision worse than the last. This is no fan of games or Gamergate 2. This is a liberal, woke dev with seemingly a lot of talent who is bringing you this information. Now, this is what he's talking about. That was the original model. That's the new model. WTF. What is happening? And this is the dev. It makes no sense. Why are we going out of our way? Do you remember Tracer? Tracer had another character that had a juicy booty, and now she's flat. It makes no sense. So I don't want to go deep. Go check out his thread. His thread is like literally, it's super long. There's a lot. He goes through multiple examples, and he basically brings receipts. Mm-hmm. And the wild thing to me is that this is specific to AAA games here in the States, but not to independents. Like if you go on Steam, let's say you play a Steam game like something with skins, Call of Duty, Dota 2, Team Fortress, whatever. Like they don't play this. Like they have plenty. Like here's a. I play Dota 2. So here's a. They recently updated a character called Queen of Pain. Mm-hmm. And the character that they updated, you would think that they would update this character to be less sexy. That's the way they're doing it, right? Mm-hmm. No, they made it more sexy. They got more technology. Like, we have more technology. Let's make her sexier. The independent devs, the ones that are not corporate owned and the ones that don't have to actually play by the DEI rules, they are doing the right thing by their games and by their gamers. And you know what? If I bought a Queen of Pain skin and all of a sudden 2 weeks later her assets were removed, I'd be pretty pissed. You know?
Yeah.
I'd be angry.
Yeah. It's like they don't remember who their customer base is, you know, in a way. It's like you got a bunch
and I'm not saying I need to see like pornography in these games. Don't get me wrong.
Well, of course not. I mean,
I'm saying why can't the characters, and not all characters have to be attractive, but why is it that every single AAA game right now, every single one, the characters are just ugly? Like Mass Effect. Let's go. Everyone here played Mass Effect, probably, right? Remember Mass Effect? Miranda was she was voiced by I'll tell you right now, by Yvonne Stravaganza. I can't say her name, Jesus, but she was voiced by this character, by this actress, if you recall, and she had the same face as that actress back in like Mass Effect 2, before we had the technology we have today. She had all the same assets that actress had. And then you fast forward to Mass Effect 4, and I'll show you what the girls looked like all of a sudden in Mass Effect 4. And I feel like it's specific to women too, and not to the men of these universes. Here is what the female character looked like in Mass Effect 4. It makes no sense.
You know why? I'm noticing a pattern here. They not only probably get in trouble for saying this. They not only like reduce their
femininity,
but it seems like they take them from being a heterosexual beautiful woman to an okay-looking lesbian. Did I say that in a not so insulting way? I think I tried anyway. But do you see that? Do you see what?
No, yeah. It seems like they do. They do add that like sort of butch look to them.
I wasn't going to use that. That was the word I wanted to use, but okay. Yes, exactly.
They do. Like they all look a little butchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't tell you why. I don't quite understand it. I suggest that you go check out Grum's thread if you're interested in this story. It's a fascinating read at Grum's, and man, he brings the receipts, and he's a game dev, and he has other game devs in the replies that are also corroborating the information. So
I want to make sure. Okay, I found that. Mark Kern is that guy, right? Yeah. All right. I just gave him a follow and check this stuff out. This is fascinating to me.
Okay. Let's move on to the next topic because we're going to go to the member section here pretty soon, and I don't want to leave this one out. Let's talk about presidential debate happening in 7 days. I'm going to try to do the monster truck voice. Next Saturday versus Biden in an all-out fist fight. So it's going to be the presidential debate that everyone's going to be talking about for a long time. I'm sure. Now, here's what's weird. There is some weird rules about this debate. Rules we've never seen before in the decades and decades we've been doing this.
Yeah, got to take into consideration these are going to be the two oldest participants ever in this debate.
So one thing that's going around, let me just clear this up. They said candidates must be remain seated at all times. That's not true. I did not find that on CNN or on Times where they explain the rules. That's the one thing that I see going around that I don't believe is accurate. In fact, I think they're going to be standing at podiums because that's specifically what they say.
I hope they're standing at podiums because that's kind of what I was referring to with the age thing. It's like, oh, they're so geriatric, they got to sit down for this debate. That's just not a good sign.
Right.
You know? So, I hope you're right. I hope that's not correct.
This has been going around. That's the one thing I do not think is accurate. I could be wrong, but like I read through the CNN report. I read through the Times where they broke everything down. Nothing talks about them specifically.
I'm surprised Trump agreed. Part of me is surprised Trump agreed to do this on CNN, but another part of me is I think that the Biden camp might have assumed he'd say no because they don't want to debate him, so they went with CNN. You know what I mean? But so people were looking at this and they were trying to go, okay, well, what's beneficial to Trump? What's beneficial to Biden? Well, here's what I think. No live audience. That's an actual rule. So there's no live audience. Wow.
That is a plus. That's definitely a plus in the category in the column for Biden, right? Yeah. It's being moderated by extremely liberal, left-wing CNN moderators. That's a plus.
Isn't it a fake Tapper? I mean, Jake Tapper doing it? Sorry.
I don't know. But that's a plus for Biden.
Yeah.
There are multiple commercial breaks. And they did this here too. There are at least 2 commercial breaks. That's definitely a plus for Biden because the guy has to pee a lot. Mm-hmm. No opening statements. I think that's a plus for... I think that's pretty fair for both. That's not... But it's also not normal. Right?
Yeah, that's not.
But I guess that doesn't hurt or help either candidate. I gotta tell you, microphones muted. So the microphones are muted unless they're specifically talking. This is crazy. This is specifically to harm Trump because Trump has the ability to interject and throw you off guard, right? Because it's a debate. And so they're going to be muting his microphone. They have control over when he's allowed to speak. So the people who are polling for Biden that want Biden to win have control of the microphones during the Trump-Biden debate. That seems Yes, Jake Trapper and Dana Bash. That seems like a plus in the column for Biden for sure. And someone says no notes, which is a plus in the column for Trump. But I'm going to say, I think that is actually not going to help Trump, because I believe that if CNN is moderating this debate and Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are the moderators, look what happened during the Clinton-Trump debate. They gave, and this came out years later, of course, they gave Hillary the questions before the debate. And someone got fired over it, by the way. Someone got fired over it for leaking the questions to Hillary. You don't think, regardless of if you have notes or not, you don't think he's going to be prepared because he has the questions ahead of time? Come on.
First of all, Trump's got a sharp, regardless of what you think of the man, he's compared to Biden, he's got a much sharper mind, a quicker wit.
Dude, Biden not having something to read off of is going to ruin him.
Yeah,
because even when he reads off things, he can't form a sentence.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's almost like abusive in a way what the Democrats are doing. Biden has no business even running again, in my personal opinion.
Yeah,
he has shown signs of early onset dementia, in my opinion. The way if you look at his gait when he walks, kind of how he spaces out often when he talks, and I don't know if there's any truth to the whole poop in the pants thing, but
I don't know about that, but he is senile for sure. I mean, but like there's plenty of drugs that will make him aware for a couple hours, and that's all they need to be, you know?
Yeah.
Mr. Reagan asked what cocktail they're going to give Biden, and that's a funny joke, but I can tell you exactly what they're going to give him. They're going to give him some armodafinil, some alpha GPC. They're going to give him a bit of butyrate, some choline. They're going to probably give him some kind of neuro enhancer, something to take the edge off, some amino acids. It's not like you don't have to be a rocket science to look up a cocktail that will boot your brain up for a couple hours and not kill you.
Who's this guy on screen? He's talking a lot. Dutch Butters. That sounds like when a Dutch oven goes bad and you wet yourself in bed. Who is this guy?
That's the legendary Dutch Butters.
Never heard of this guy. Who's this guy? No, I'm just kidding. It's Vader. I don't like his
legendary name. Dutch Butters. So yeah, bottom line, we're gonna go to the member section here pretty soon. But I did want to. What do you think? I believe, like Dutch Butters, I think Trump's gonna destroy Biden.
Trump is gonna crush him, but it doesn't matter because the liberal media that controls everything is just gonna spin it.
Yeah, how can they spin it though if Biden has a 3-minute rambling montage where he says incoherent words?
Yeah, well, they'll figure out a way. They'll probably use AI. Which, by the way, I meant to ask you, that picture, was that really you or was that AI?
Which one? The Photoshop one?
Was that so? It was it was on YouTube. I saw it was like you and like a.
It was probably Photoshop.
It was okay.
Oh, I was showing my gut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was Photoshopped. I brought in my gut just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look. Here's the deal. I do believe that Trump's going to win the debate. I think you're right. It's possible they can spin it, but I think there's a limit to how much you can spin. And if they don't give him the right cocktail, if they don't hit that guy with some NZT level medication. I'm sorry to bring back a pop culture reference. They need to give him like the limitless drug, NZT, for him to be able to function. If they don't give him that, or if it wears off at the wrong time, it's a live debate, dude. It's gonna be a disaster.
Imagine if it wears off, like you said, it's 90 minutes. Imagine it wears off like 60 minutes in, and he's just like, that would be so funny.
So let's say Cretidine and modafinil have a 4-hour half-life, but it's most effective in the first 90 minutes, and then it starts to trail, right? Mm-hmm. Which means that they need to give it to him like 30 minutes to 45 minutes before the debate. Give him time to prepare, also for the drug to kick in, and then it'll be at its peak effectiveness during the debate. if they don't time that right, then this guy is going to be like, this guy's gonna say a random word and then sit down and poop on the floor.
So let me ask you, because I don't get to talk about this stuff on Nerd Fights. He doesn't like to talk politics, and I love it. I love talking these hot, political
hot takes.
I do. So, what is the debate really going to change anybody's mind? I can tell you what. When I look at the 4 years under Trump and the almost 4 years I've had under Biden, I already know who I'm voting for right now. I don't care what. I mean, the guy I'm voting for could literally shoot somebody in the face. I don't care. Like, do you think that this debate's really going to sway anybody's mind?
So Trump was found guilty of like 37 felonies or something like that.
I don't care. I don't care. You know what my life was like under the Trump presidency? Best it's ever been financially. I can tell you.
Yeah.
You know what happened under Biden? I became a raging alcoholic and nearly burnt my life to the ground.
No. I know. I'll give you that. Like, financially, my business was at its peak during Trump, and during Biden, it is at its almost lowest point. My business is struggling. Because of, I mean, there's so many factors like shipping, vendors, everything is higher. Everyone has less money to spend, and everything costs an insane amount of money. And what makes it worse is when they gaslight you and they say, there's no inflation. In fact, the economy's booming. F you, bro.
Oh,
yeah. I just got back from McDonald's and I had to leave because they told me it was going to cost $27 for a combo. F you. Inflation's an obvious thing here, dude. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah, and Dutch says it right in the chat. The debate will change. I don't think it's going to change anything. It's an entertainment at this point. I'm going to make some popcorn, sit down and watch it.
I think there are people that will be changed. I'll tell you why. So you're the kind of guy who's like, when they're like, yeah, he was convicted of 37 felonies, you're like, I don't give a shit, right? Whatever.
I don't care. I really don't.
But there are people, because they've been like, the reason they issued that lawfare against Trump was the purpose of that was so that they can use the talking point every time they talked about him and talk about he's a convicted felon, right? Because they want all the Karens and the older people and the white women. You're part of the problem here to see convicted felon and stress out about it, right? The thing is, though, there are people that when that convicted felon thing happened, when the judge came back and the jury came back and convicted him on 37 counts of felonies, his numbers dropped a little bit in certain states.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the deal. In this debate, the people that were wavering that hard, that were for him at one point, and then he became a convicted felon, and they changed their support, those are the wishy-washy people that if they see Biden up there poop his pants and talk about, they're going to be like, you know what? Convicted felon can speak. That will change things. So there are people that are wishy-washy, sensitive, probably not totally in the know. They're going to see that saw the convicted felon on every single headline and switch their support up. They're going to see this and be like, well, maybe it's not that bad. There are people like that. So I think that there are undecided voters, and this is what Anthony said. He's right. I think there's some independent, undecided voters that might be influenced by it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Anthony. Love that.
Adam Leader asked, did the law change over there? I thought a felon couldn't run for president. That is not true. A felon can't. It's not true.
A felon can't vote it's state by state. Most
felons can't vote, but they can run for office. Yeah. Which I don't totally understand that. I mean, like, honestly, that sounds ass backwards. All right, so you lose your ability.
I'm still bummed Schwarzenegger can't run because he wasn't born here. Give me a break.
I mean, but think about this though. All right, so you do something wrong, you get convicted of a felony, you do your time, you get out. Sorry, sir or ma'am, you can no longer vote for things that would directly affect your lives, but you can run for office. I don't know. It seems sort of ass backwards. I don't.
Yeah.
But Yeah, Adam. Yeah, you can run for president. You can be in prison and run for president. In fact, we've actually had people on the ballot that were actively serving sentences in prison. Which might be the most American thing ever.
Yeah.
Anthony is correct. The threshold, you basically have to be a citizen over 35. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, in this day and age, you have to be a citizen over 35. Yeah, natural born citizen over 35 and have $1 billion. Yeah. You can't just run for president as a regular person. I mean, you could, but it ain't gonna do nothing.
I tell you, I still think it's a real shame that they haven't amended the Constitution to allow. I think that's a silly, because if you think about it, none of the forefathers were natural born citizens. You know,
No, you should be a natural born citizen to run.
You really think so? I think if you've been here, if you've been a U.S. citizen over 35 years, what's the difference between a 35-year-old who was born here and, let's say, a 55-year-old who moved here when he was 19 and been a citizen since he was 20?
Because you can have someone that came here when they were 30 and they can run at 65 then. Yeah. And then you have someone that is not actually here for our best interest, but probably for their home country's best interest.
I guess my bias towards Schwarzenegger.
Recently, a non-citizen ran for office and actually got it in like San Francisco, and I was like, "This is the most San Francisco thing: is to hire someone, to appoint someone to public office who isn't even a citizen of the United States is insane to me, because they don't have our country's best interest in mind. They have their country's best interest, and which is fine, but that's why that exists. And I understand Arnold Schwarzenegger came here a long time ago. He probably loves his country. I get that. But I think he's the exception. I think generally people that come here from other countries care more about their country. I mean,
I don't know, man. I've met so many people, especially here in Vegas, who.
Well, I live in California, bro. I can't walk down the street without seeing a Mexican flag on someone's car. So,
there's a really large. I don't understand why or how, but there's a really large Filipino population here in Vegas, and they all love America. I mean, they make it sound like they fled tyranny, and I've heard that the Philippines isn't that bad at all. I don't know. I've never been. I don't even have a passport. But
the worst thing about the Philippines is the balut.
The what?
The food. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I found, at least in my lifetime, that most immigrants that come over here they love America more than most natural born citizens I know. They appreciate it more.
And you're right, but there are people also that have come here illegally. And it's selfishly because they're fleeing a country that sucks, and
my principals here taking notes. I'm gonna great.
Here's the deal.
I don't know if you see that in the chat.
If I understand you coming from a crappy country and you want to go to a country that's going to give you a bunch of free stuff and have a better life, I completely get that. But if you come here with the same ideology and lifestyle that you had from your home country, then at what point does your new country just turn into your home country? This is why people that weren't naturalized here should not be running for office.
Okay, well, that's a point we can discuss over a cup of coffee next time I see you in person. We can agree to disagree, or maybe you can change my mind. I don't know. I'm a lot more open-minded now.
This is
holy cow.
This is a food in It's a fertilized.
Actually, that's grossing me out.
That's a blue. Yeah, basically, it's like an egg that was fertilized, and it's super old.
Oh God, yeah.
Salted duck. All right.
Oh God. All right, I was gonna spew, but we'll wait for the members section. I don't want to get you demonetized.
We are going to the members section. Yes, it looks like Salty Nerd is in here. He says, "I'm taking notes on how." Sorry, Salty Trekker. My bad. Taking notes on how Danny behaves here compared to my channel. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a mouthful on our show.
And Archmage is correct. I am more of a Thailand guy. Inside. Inside joke, right?
Lady Boys.
The only way you would understand that joke is if you've been watching for longer than like 2 years.
Yeah.
Although we did put a shirt up once that said "Visit Thailand," and like one person bought it, and I'm still shocked that we sold that one shirt that was specific to a joke that was made on this show.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're heading to the member section. If you want to become a member, I implore you to do so. Hit the join button at the bottom. We get a little looser over there.
It's cheaper than a Big Mac. Thanks, Biden.
Yeah, it's cheaper than a lot of things.
Yeah.
Danny's probably gonna go a little nutty, I'm sure. I'm gonna unleash the beast. I'm gonna take off my pants. We're gonna look at some memes and just hang out. And I hope you can join us. That is the members section. It's gonna be coming up right after this. I'm gonna set that up, and you give us your outro, bro.
Oh well, hey. I'm Danny, the Dork Knight. You can follow me on X at Dork Knight LV. Every Wednesday and Thursday, I have a show with the Salty Trekker called Nerd Fights. Check it out. We'd love to have you there. And thanks so much for having me on the show.
Okay, guys, that's it. We're heading to the member section. We love your faces, and we'll see you on over there. Come on over. The water's warm because Danny peed in the pool.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it.